Chapter 2, Book 2 of Rookwood. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Paul Curran. Rookwood by William Harrison Ainsworth. Book 2, Chapter 2, The Funeral Oration. In northern customs duty was expressed to friends departed by their funeral feast. Though I've consulted Hollingshed and Stowe, I find it very difficult to know who, to refresh the attendants to the grave, burnt claret first, or Naples biscuit gave. King, Art of Cookery. Ceterum priusquam corpus humo injecta contegatur, defunctus oriatone funebre laudabatur. Durand. A supply of spirits was here introduced. Lights were brought at the same time, and placed upon a long oak table. The party gathered round it. Ill humour was speedily dissipated, and even the storm disregarded in the copious libations that ensued. At this juncture a loiterer appeared in the hall. His movements were unnoticed by all excepting the sexton, who watched his proceedings with some curiosity. The person walked to the window, appearing, so far as he could be discovered, to eye the storm with great impatience. He then paced the hall rapidly backwards and forwards, and Peter fancied he could detect sounds of disappointment in his muttered exclamations. Again he returned to the window, as if to ascertain the probable duration of the shower. It was a hopeless endeavor. All was pitch dark without. The lightning was now only seen at long intervals, but the rain still audibly descended in torrents. Apparently seeing the impossibility of controlling the elements, the person approached the table. "What think you of the night, Mr. Palmer?" asked the sexton of Jack, for he was the anxious investigator of the weather. "Don't know, can't say. Set in, I think. Cursed unlucky. For the funeral, I mean. We shall be drowned if we go." "Drunk if we stay," rejoined Peter. "But never fear, it will hold up, depend upon it, long before we can start. Where have they put the prisoner?" asked he, with a sudden change of manner. "I know the room, but can't describe it. It's 2 or 3 doors down the lower corridor of the eastern gallery." "Good. Who are on guard?" "Titus Tyrconnel and that swivel-eyed quill-driver Coates." "Enough." "Come, come, Master Peter," roared Toft, "let's have another stave. Give us one of your odd snatches. No more corpse candles or that sort of thing. Something lively, something jolly, ha!" "A good move," shouted Jack. "A lively song from you. Lily Bullerow from a death's head, ha! "My songs are all of a sort," returned Peter. "I am seldom asked to sing a second time. However, you are welcome to the merriest I have." And preparing himself, like certain other accomplished vocalists, with a few preliminary hems and haws, he struck forth the following doleful ditty: The Old Oak Coffin. Sic ego compone versus in ossa velim. Tibullus. In a churchyard upon the sward a coffin there was laid, and leaning stood beside the wood a sexton on his spade. A coffin old and black it was, and fashioned curiously, with a quaint device of carved oak in hideous fantasy. From here was wrought the sculptured thought of a tormented face, with serpents lithe around it writhe, in folded strict embrace. Grim visages of grinning fiends were at each corner set, and emblematic scrolls, mort heads, and bones together met. "Ah, well a day!" that sexton grey unto himself did cry. "Beneath that lid much lieth hid, much awful mystery. It is an ancient coffin from the abbey that stood there. Perchance it holds an abbot's bones, perchance of those a frere. In digging deep, where monks do deep, beneath yon cloister shroud, that coffin old, within the mould, it was my chance to find. The costly carvings of the lid I scraped full carefully, in hope to get at name or date, yet nothing could I see. With pick and spade I've plied my trade for 60 years and more, yet never found, beneath the ground, shell strange as that before. Full many coffins I have seen them deep or flat, fantastical in fashion, none fastical as that. And saying so, with heavy blow, the lid he shattered wide, and pale with fright, a ghastly sight that sexton grey espied. A miserable sight it was, that loathsome corpse to see, the last dreary darksome sage of fallen humanity. Though all was gone, save reeky bone, a green and grisly heap, with scarce a trace of fleshly face, strange posture did it keep. The hands were clenched, the teeth were wrenched, as if the wretch had risen, e'en after death, had taken his breath, to strive and burst his prison. The neck was bent, the nails were rent, no limb or joint was straight, together glued with blood imbued, black and coagulate. And as the sexton stooped him down to lift the coffin plank, his fingers were defiled o'er with slimy substance dank. Ah, well a day! That sexton grey unto himself did cry, full well I see how fate's decree foredoomed this wretch to die. A living man, a breathing man, within the coffin thrust. Alack, alack, the agony ere he returned to dust. A vision drear did then appear unto that sexton's eyes. Like that poor wight before him, straight he in a coffin lies. He lieth in a trance within that coffin close and fast. Yet though he sleepeth now, he feels he shall wake at last. The coffin then, by reverend men, is borne with footsteps slow, where tapers shrine before the shrine, where breathes the requiem low. And for the dead the prayer is said, for the soul that is not flown. Then all is drowned in hollow sound, the earth is o'er him thrown. He draweth breath, he wakes from death to life more horrible, to agony, such agony, no living tongue may tell. Die, die he must, that wretched one, he struggles, strives in vain. No more heaven's light nor sunshine bright shall he behold again. Gramercy, Lord! the sexton roared, awakening suddenly. If this be dream, yet doth it seem most dreadful so to die. Oh, cast my body in the sea, or hurl it on the shore, but nail me not in coffin fast. No grave will I dig more. It was not difficult to discover the effect produced by this song in the lengthened faces of the greater part of the audience. Jack Palmer, however, laughed loud and long. "Bravo, bravo!" cried he. "That suits my humor exactly. I can't abide the thoughts of a coffin. No deal box for me." "A gibbet might, perhaps, serve your turn as well," muttered the sexton, adding aloud, "I am now entitled to call upon you. A song, a song." "Ay, a song, Mr. Palmer, a song," reiterated the hinds. "Yours will be the right kind of thing." "Say no more," replied Jack. "I'll give you a chant composed upon Dick Turpin, the highwayman. It's no great shakes, to be sure, but it's the best I have." And, with a knowing wink at the sexton, he commenced, in the true nasal whine, the following strain: "One foot in the stirrup, or Turpin's first fling, cum esset proposita fuga Turpis." Cicero. One foot in the stirrup, one hand in the rein, and the noose be my portion, or freedom I'll gain. Oh, give me a seat in my saddle once more, and these bloodhounds shall find that the chase is not o'er. Thus muttered Dick Turpin, who found, while he slept, that the Philistines old on his slumbers had crept, had entrapped him as puss on her form you'd ensnare, and that gone were his snappers, and gone were his mare. Hilloah! How Dick Turpin had been captured is readily told. The pursuit had been hot, though the night had been cold. So at daybreak, exhausted, he sought brief repose, mid the thick of a cornfield, away from his foes. But in vain was his caution, in vain did his steed, ever watchful and wakeful in moments of need, with lip and hoof on her master's cheek press. He slept on, nor heeded the warning of Bess. "Loa!" "Zounds, gentlemen," cried Turpin,